Grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to all. My name is Justin B., and I am a son of an all-powerful and perfectly loving God and a qualifying addict of multiple fellowships, living in the miracle of recovery, and I'm here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about a miracle you have observed in your life this week.
Oh, this is just awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki M, and I'm an intelligent agent spearhead. Miracles. It's funny you just say that. I just was telling my sponsee, I literally get paid all day by God to watch miracles. And what's a miracle I saw this week alone? Well, I saw a man who was lost in the rooms. I made the approach, and he said yes to me taking him through. Now, this guy comes out of NA, so I'm real excited to get him, you know me, into the big book. Not that NA doesn't have a great book, but this guy's been lingering around long time in the room. So that was one of my miracles. But to be honest, Justin, I'm watching miracles all the time. We just got off the Noodle meeting. I heard about, I don't know, a zillion miracles.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be in this work because we get to be firsthand, first row, right on the sidelines observers and in the game observers of miracles. It's a beautiful thing. Thanks for sharing that, Nikki. All right, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Rico 12. Everybody out there, Rico 12 is a family of recovery resources. We've got several podcast resources at this point. We've got this one with the Noodle It Out with Nikki M podcast. We've got Big Book Roundtable. So this one comes out every Tuesday. Big Book Roundtable comes out every Thursday. We've got the Rico 12 flagship, which is our speaker meeting that we record live every Friday and we release it as a podcast every Friday. But we really strive to recognize the commonality of addictions of all kind, the commonality of the solution found in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And we subscribe to what the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous says, that rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. What a beautiful thing that is. All right, so let's jump into a little bit here more. This project called Noodle It Out with Nikki M is an exercise and deep dive into finding solutions to questions, issues, and things we encounter in everyday life. And we find those solutions in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So I'll be bringing a couple of questions from my own life, from the lives of people I see in recovery, and from the listening audience to the Big Book. And if you out there have a question that you'd like us to address, please send us an email at noodlewithnikki@gmail.com. And Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks, and we'll get to that in a future episode. So get your Big Book out, get ready to run around it, make some notes, and let's get into the solution. Nikki, I have a question today that actually came from this morning's Noodle session that you had, the live one that you do every Monday morning. And before I get into that, before you start answering that question, why don't you tell us a little bit about that Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting that you host every Monday morning? Tell us about that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, Noodle It Out with Nikki is kind of a different format. And how that meeting was born is that I would get a lot of calls. I sponsor a lot, Justin. That's what the book requires of me. It says our purpose is to serve and basically to carry this message. So I was getting a lot of phone calls, and I said, everybody just meet me on this meeting, and we will, if you have a question, raise your hand. And then what will happen is we'll answer your question as directed through the Big Book, citing passages, pages, and experience, strength, and hope through the Big Book. And so that's how that meeting was born. And, I think, I can't remember, I wish I had an archivist. I need everything. I even need a lighting crew in my bedroom here, the studio of Noodle. But it's been over a year, and we normally get, 150 people come out to this meeting, and not for Nikki. They come out to hear the big book solution and this design for living that really works. It's not a conventional meeting, and it's really not for the faint at heart, because we get really radically honest. So that's what that meeting's about. And that's how this person came on. Did you ask the question already?
I have not, but I will.
Okay.
I will. Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool. And I have the opportunity to attend the meeting most Mondays for a little bit, as I'm also working with others during that time. But it's a beautiful thing. I invite everybody to join in that meeting if you have that curiosity to do so. The link for it is in the show notes of the podcast. So this question today comes from today's meeting, and I'm just going to paraphrase it. This person says, I need help. I keep relapsing and want to stop, but I don't know how. And my sponsor just dropped me because I keep relapsing. What do I need to do, and how do I approach this, Nikki? What does the book say?
Okay, this was great. And I had to get armed with some facts, because page 90 of my big book tells me I have to get, this is all on a quick meeting with a 2-minute share. So in a few moments, literally moments, I have to, on page 90, it says I have to get an idea of her behavior, her problem, her background, and the seriousness of her condition. Well, she has told us that she can't stop. She's hopeless. And so I'm getting an idea of the seriousness of her condition. I'm getting an idea of her behavior. She cannot stop. And her problem. What's your drug of choice? Remember, we asked her that, Justin. So a drug of non-choice. Like, what are you relapsing on? Is it benzos? Well, hers was men. She can't stop. She's a love addict, a sex and love, whatever you want to call it, a codependent. She's a people addict, whatever it is. Fantasy. And I had enough information on that. And she said she cannot stop. And let's go to the point that her sponsor dropped her. Oh, everyone's like, well, her sponsor dropped her. Well, probably because her sponsor is following the instructions on page 96. It says, don't be discouraged if your prospect, which was this woman, does not respond at once. See, the book tells her sponsor to find another addict and do it again. Because here's her promise. Her sponsor's promise is that you are going to find someone desperate enough to accept with eagerness what you offer. See, this woman who's on there, I can't stop, was not desperate enough to accept with eagerness what we in this program, in this 12-step recipe program, offers. Her sponsor is told it's a waste of time to chase a woman who cannot and will not work with you. She must stop. So she said, Nikki, please help. Please help. Well, here it is. It's on page 12. I think we read this page over her. It says, thus was this person, this woman who's on our meeting this morning, she has to be convinced that God, and she's not working this program, is concerned. She doesn't have an idea of God, Justin. She's just, whatever. I don't know how new she is. I don't quite know all the information, but I got an idea, right? Page 90, I got an idea that, she doesn't, if you can go that love, how about responsibility? Sometimes I will change that word God on page 12. Not sometimes, a lot of the time I will change that word God for a newcomer with the spiritual principles. See, if you get responsible, this act of being responsible will be concerned with you when you want to be responsible. Here's a key word, enough. And then I asked her, what can't you stop? She's like, I can't stop dating. Serial dater. Okay. How are you dating? That's what I asked her, because I got to get armed with these facts, everyone. Page 18. We have to get armed with the facts. This is in life. Oh, Nikki, that's how to sponsor. No, I need to get armed with the facts, not about myself, about the people I'm dealing with. Remember, deep down in everybody's God. It's just blocked. So I need to get what are your behaviors? She's on dating apps. What do you need to do? You need to delete the dating apps. So now we're on this meeting, everybody. We're all on Zoom. No one has legs. We're all in this Zoom meeting. I think there was 142 of us this morning. And we say, hey, if you can't do it yourself, call somebody. You're already on Noodle. I'm not going to have time after. So call someone, because you don't have a sponsor, number one. And then I said in the group, because we're in a meeting of 142 people, I'm not asking her. She's already said she needs a sponsor. So what did I do? I said, who can sponsor this woman? 142 people on there. And who unmuted? One of our good friends. And our good friend unmuted, and she said, I'll take you through. So now this woman, in 5 minutes of being in the center of the solution, has a sponsor. She's been suggested, not told, she's been suggested that she deletes these dating apps. She's been handed a sponsor because she's in a fellowship that does the work. Like, this is radical stuff. You see what I mean?
Absolutely. And you know, that's a big step. You know, someone can say, and I've experienced this as I've sponsored people, hey, what are you willing to do? And they say, oh, well, anything. And I'll say, okay, I'll make a suggestion similar to, hey, you got to delete those dating apps that you have there. And they balk at that. They go, I don't know if I'm ready to do that. How will I ever get in have a meaningful relationship? I'll be single for the rest of my life and never be able to experience these connections. Why is it vital for someone to really be willing to give up, to do anything it takes to get healthy at this moment?
Well, if you've given the person a good presentation, meaning have you armed them with the fact that they're beyond human aid? You know, I know in the link of this show will be the link for our big book sponsorship guide, which is a 12-step program. Our friend Cameron F. has taken all key. He's got a good presentation, and there's a thing in there called the log and loser list. It's your human aid list. So we've showed these people, it's vital that you understand you're beyond human aid. There's nowhere for you to go. You know, and it says, any lengths, like people are any lengths. Well, you better fly to Toronto, Canada. You better go to this place. You better, you have to sit next to me in a meeting. You better get, all these things. No. Any lengths. Let's go here for what does it mean for any lengths is follow the exact instructions of the big book. It says it's on page, I think it's on page 90. If you have decided you want what we have and you're willing to go to any lengths is follow the exact instructions of the big book. And the big book on page 102 says your job is to be helpful. You can take a newcomer there right away. Everybody, they haven't worked the steps. Just take them to page 102 so they know their job. Your job is to be helpful. So let's get serious here. Let's get honest, because it says rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path, which is honesty. So is it helpful for you to have dating apps when you are in the grip of a progressive love disease or whatever your acting out behaviors are? No, it's not helpful. So any lengths is follow the exact instructions. You just said, no, it's not helpful. So then the suggestion would be to delete the apps, because it doesn't say in the book, delete the apps. It does say in the book to stop drinking. That's what this book is about. Let's not mistake this. I mean, everyone's like, this is about alcoholism. You need primary purpose. Well, the primary purpose in tradition 3 long form says anyone suffering the disease of alcoholism is welcome. We deny nobody. This woman is suffering the disease of alcoholism. So we show her we give a good presentation that she's beyond human aid. And if she's willing, and it says, are you willing to take certain steps? And then we're to ask them, the newcomer, if they want to quit for good. And if they would go to any extreme. See, any extreme it really rolls into this. Step 6, are you entirely ready to have this program remove, because they don't know God, this power remove your defects of character? This is a big question. And so you have to stop doing the things you want to do. You want to pick up that drink. You want to scroll for that man. You want to call Uber Eats. You must stop doing the things you want to do. And you're a newcomer. Is it helpful? That's where you can start with a newcomer, everybody. You can go there with your children, everybody. Parent like this. Son, is it helpful for you to hang out with those people? Just yes or no. It's a black and white yes or no. Son, is it helpful if you do not do your homework when it's assigned? Like, just show these people. You have a teenage daughter and honey, is it helpful for you to be eating that, really? Because she's now struggling with her weight. She's comparing herself to the Kardashians of the world. We got to wake up this generation of scrolling. And I'm guilty too. Wake me up, Justin.
Wake up, Nikki. No, it's such good stuff. Those questions of, is it helpful to do this? Here's something that has come up in my life and with people that I work with. It's obvious that what it is that I'm going to use an example of one of my sponsees, that what this person really wants is not helpful. And yet the thought is, but I want it. I want it more than I want God right now. I want it more than I want recovery right now. I want it. Is there hope for somebody who admits that I want this, alcohol, drugs, women, men, whatever it is, more than I want God at this moment? Where can the decision be made to, go a different direction than what I have programmed myself to do for my whole life?
Okay, well, we've all been programmed. We've all been programmed in school. I mean, I'm looking at the programming, the tell lie vision, tell lies to your vision. Okay, so here it is. It says, want it enough. We just read that on page 12. He doesn't want it enough, your sponsor or this woman. Then it says, don't waste your time. It's a waste of time on page 96. It says, don't waste your time. They've just told you, you're armed with the facts. So here, this person they said, I want to do this behavior, drinking, smoking, scrolling, swearing, whatever it may be, more than I want God. Okay. In our job on page 98, I always have like a frog because I've been speaking for hours since I've been up on a Monday morning. Here it is. It says, page 98, job, no job, wife, no wife, humans, no humans, what you want or what you don't want. Seriously, you're not going to stop acting out as long as you place dependence upon these things ahead of God. See, I'm armed with the facts here. They said they don't want God. And oh God, I mean, this is the most powerful word, if you ask me, but they don't want to be responsible enough. They don't want to forgive enough. How about this? Page 88. They don't want to be disciplined enough. See, it says, we addicts, we suffering from the disease of alcoholism are undisciplined. So we let the spiritual principles discipline us in the way we just outlined. Page 88 you're on. So go back and look at the previous pages from the very blank page to 88. Those are the instructions. And then it says, Justin, our job is to burn. I mean, look at that, Justin. It says burn the idea into the consciousness. This is on page 98 of every human. Just put human in there, that they can get well regardless of anyone, anything, even yourself. But there's a condition. See, it says the only condition is that you trust God and clean house, and you're not willing to do that. So you're not going to get better. So my book says you are it literally says it on page 96, a waste of time, a WAT acronym. You are a WAT. And my friend Cameron F puts an F in there, and I'm not going to drop the F bomb. WOFT. So do the acronym, but I'll just do it polite for our friends out there because I'm trying not to swear so much. You are a WAT, a waste of time, says page 96. And I want to watch miracles. And you know what? Usually they come back. And when they do, Justin, guess what? That guy who didn't want, and now you're busy because you've taken someone else through. You're like, okay, dude, I've got a sponsee. He can take you through. Because your sponsee is now ready to sponsor, and you can throw this guy who wasn't ready for you to your sponsee. And we just all get better.
Love it. And I want to share a little miracle in my own life on this topic. One of the three key things for recovery, for getting recovery, is honesty. We talk honesty, open-mindedness, willingness. We talk those things. There are days when I wake up, there are times during my day when I recognize that I want, potato chips more than I want carrots, And yet now, as I have walked this path for a while, where I never had the the choice. I never wanted to make the choice. I now can go, you know what, God, I want potato chips more than I want carrots right now. But because I know that you have me, I will eat the carrots instead of the potato chips this time, because I now trust. I have learned through experience that even though I want something more than what I need, I can now make a decision to do something different. Now, earlier in my life, when I was in active addiction, that choice didn't exist. But now that I have made this connection with God, he does for me that which I cannot do for myself, even when I don't necessarily want it, but I still make the choice to do it. What are your thoughts? Any big book wisdom there?
Yeah, I have a miracle to share too, because I like to be right. My need to be right, says page 420. But I'm going to go to another page, but I just want to say, it says, my need to be right moves in. Okay. And my miracle was during COVID. I didn't follow the mandates, and my need to be right did not move in. I was quiet. I was page 118, be patient. When my prime minister said I'll never get on a plane, and just, what was it, a month ago, I flew home first class from Europe, right? Upgraded for free. I mean, this is the miracles, but let's go deeper. Page 568, everybody. You know, it says, this is to everybody, page 568. We find that no one, including Nikki, including Noodle Nikki here, need have difficulty with the spirituality. This is a spiritual program, everybody. Everyone's welcome here. It's a spiritual way of life. We entered a spirit world, and this is a program. We're going to accept a set of instructions, the big book, that is going to program us into proper thinking. And to do that, you need willingness, you need honesty, and you need an open mind. And it says, these are essential to recovery. These are the essentials of recovery. And then it says, but these are indispensable. I cannot get these dispensed. The willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness. I can't get it dispensed from the pot shop down the street. I live in Toronto, Canada. There's a zillion. I can't get it from the pharmacy. There's one on every corner, a bottle of the pills. I can't get it dispensed from my sponsor. See, because just like God, deep down, page 55, in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. So is this fundamental idea of willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness. That's God. So we got to go deep. This is real radical stuff. We're recreating our lives here, Justin. That's what it says. It says we are recreating our life here. And page 14 says the price must be paid. So if you're out there and you think, and everybody, this is what I want to say, Justin, the potato chips. What are Justin, that's no big deal. Justin, I'm dealing with heroin. Oh, no. That little bite of potato chip will lead you into, where that goes. And then you're no good. And then you're slamming the dope in your neck. And it may not be the needle of heroin. It's the needle of self-pity filled with 100 forms. And then it goes, I should die.
Yep.
Sober.
Everybody, this is powerful stuff. Come make this decision with us. Pay the price. Get willing, honest, and open-minded, and join with us on this broad road, on this broad pathway as we trudge this road of happy destiny. Work it. You are worth it.